Look, man, just like a car, before you travel on a journey, it needs to start it, the engine, the oil needs to kick in and everything like that. So, Keitumetse Kasonkola, who plays Nkele, my sister, on the story, her depth in performance and her knowledge is so vast. And when she suggested something like that, I mean, we all had our own kind of like ways that we're believing that we're doing it, but that exercise actually is what brings us together.
I mean, I wish I could take all the credit, but I can't. I like to warm up in the mornings because I've always had major hang-ups about my voice. I was told a lot of things about my voice growing up. But I also have come to learn that there's something about characters that links to their voice and how you use your speech to give certain emotions and character traits and things like that. So it's something that I don't think I've mastered as yet, but it's something that I'm working towards, how to distinguish each character through vocal stuff and traits. So it's important for me to begin the day with a vocal warm-up. And I think it started really last year, November. I think we were on location and I was warming up and Minky was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a vocal warm-up." And so we started doing lip trills together and we'd warm up because she hasn't studied drama and this is her first really big break. And she was just like really nervous getting into performance. She was like, "Oh, I don't know if I know what I'm doing." And I'm like, "Girl, if you didn't know what you were doing, you would not be here." So we started warming up together. And then Thabo was like, "How? The girls are warming up by themselves and excluding us." Then we started warming up and doing vocal warm-ups together in the mornings. But then the mornings became a raucous, hectic thing. So the least we could do is just reconnect our energies in the morning and do a little bit of an energize.
We call it opening the floor. So when you start in the morning, that's what we do. We do a countdown from 10 to 1. But it's like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, left arm, right leg, left leg, we kick and whatnot. When we get to 1, it's 1, 1, 1, and then we just scream and let out all the tension, all the frustration, or whatever it is, declaring a productive and amazing day ahead of us. And I feel that has brought us even more close as a family. And I believe that chemistry reads on screen.
The dope thing about Lanika is the fact that we work with an incredible cast and crew. Like everyone here is like, top of their game, you understand? So whenever you get into a space like this, you understand the importance of respect. There is no such thing as, okay, I'm a lead manager, because you'll find someone like a Mr. Gaduka who comes in to play your father's lovers, who is just out of this world from a talent standpoint, you understand? So there's no such thing as a lead role here, because I feel like everyone here really just comes alive in such an amazing way and contributes in a big way.
Blast that! You gonna die tonight? Oh, I can't. Oh, kick the ass. Shit. Come on, nigga. Oh, no. Oh, he did it. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding.
Champions over the day.
It becomes so tempting to just be like, "Oh, these are my lines, these are my cues, this is what I've got to do." But everything is about reacting, and we're sharing in the space. What have you brought to the table? Is that what you've brought? Okay, Zach, I got you, I see you, and I'll raise you one. So we can do that if our energies are really locked in together. And I mean, Thabo has won an A Lady Award, so he knows a thing or two about theater and all of that. And also in the beginning stages, we also had Mandla, who's also like a very seasoned actor on screen and in the theater space. So that's really how that tradition kind of wove its way into the family. So that just, we could break the ice and also allow people to feel like, okay, I can hang out with these people. Like, we can do silly things together. So then we open the space to play, because sometimes we take ourselves too seriously, honestly.
It helps us adopt a synergy that is uniform as a family. So you find that maybe today one of the family members is probably feeling ill, the other one is exhausted, the other one is going through personal things. That process of the countdown, when you open the floor, it kind of like helps us undress all our personal issues and we leave them by the door. And then when we come into the narrative world, we respect the characters that we portray without being judgmental or burdening them with our personal issues as the thespians.
Be a professional, get to work, play your part, contribute, respect the work. And part of respecting the work is also just respecting the people that you do it with.
I'm aware that we all have different styles of working, so I would never impose my style on anyone else. And so for me, the activation of the set just can come in simple vocal warm-up. Then I kind of get into the zone. It helps me with my enrolling process and a little bit with my de-rolling process, because at the end of the day, I'll hum a tune or I'll sing a song, and that kind of like puts me back into my me body. But I think it's very important, because I think you can't really get lost in this world. I mean, Nkela's gone through so much psycho-emotionally, and I think I could have gone a little bit cuckoo if I didn't find ways to bring myself back to myself. If I didn't find ways to activate the space so that the space itself, even if it's just a psychological space within myself, if I didn't activate that space, then certain lines wouldn't activate or influence or impact me the way they needed to, so that I can convey, I think, the appropriate kind of emotion for the audience's pleasure.
I think for me coming in, and it's funny because I was having a chat with one of our directors. Shout out to our directing team, by the way. Everyone there, Kilepar. I was having a chat with one of our directors, and I was telling him that, yo, man, I don't know what to do with Lebo anymore, because it feels like I don't know where to take the character. And he explained to me that, when you're working in a space like this, on a show like this, a telenovela, the most important thing that you can do for yourself as an actor, for your character, is to figure out their function on the show, And as time went by, I started looking at the show as like a body, you understand? And I started seeing Seriti House as a body, and I was like, oh, okay, no, sharp. So Malema is the eyes, because he sees everything, but he rarely speaks on certain things. Mama is the hands, because she's the one that's trying to keep this house together.
This is Mama Walelapa, She's a free-spirited woman, but she brings people into line, and I think also she anchors them. And that's not necessarily something that I came into the role with the understanding of. It's something that emerged from the chemistry with the other actors.
My approach generally to my work is I start with the physical element of my character, based on what the age is, what body part does it lead with, is it a chest, is it the pelvis, is it the head, depending on how he's characterized. And after doing that, obviously, I have uncles personally myself that I know I'm actually an uncle myself. So I kind of take traits that I feel that will help bring Lisibane to life as believable as possible. But I borrow from anything that I find productive or conducive or relevant to the character. So I do not cast anything on stone. I'm very flexible in my approach, and I'm open to also suggestions. Being part of the Seriti family, in the likes of Keitumetse Kasonkola, Thato, Dithebe, to name a few, Minki, who plays Ora as well, and now Lihle, who plays my daughter. I think we are actors who don't want to throw each other under the bus. So even though we are working a scene, I'm not only observant to my words alone, as in the form of the dialogue, but also the interaction, because reaction is actually what acting is in a certain sense, So I take in my surrounding, I trust the process, I'm very improv prone, so whatever I feel, sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss, but I've got nothing to lose. If it doesn't work, we try something else. So I'm very playful when it comes to how I can embody my character depending on what it is required for that role.
Lebo is the heart, because hearts are always conflicted. You understand? Yeah, Sharpo, they're always there to keep, the story moving forward and whatnot. However, at the end of the day, hearts get conflicted. We've all had our heart broken, but at the same time, we all know what it's like to have joy, because that's where the joy emanates from, So realizing that, I was like, okay, if that's the case, what I would like for people to remember the label as on the show is the heart of the show. Whenever somebody was hurting, we felt that hurt. Whenever somebody needed to be vulnerable, we felt it with label. Yes, he makes a lot of dumb mistakes, but as you guys all know, people always say that you must think with your mind, not with your heart, because the heart, Vele, it's going to mislead you. We saw it with lovers. We're still going to see it with a lot more things that I can't divulge into.
What do you take away from this entire experience?
Joining Champions for me is the answer to a question I've had for a long time, because I've received so many no's. Things that I really thought, but I really thought I would have been really good for that, or I really thought I would have been good at that. And then you wonder, do I actually have the chops, And so this character really allowed me to say, yes, girl, you do have the chops. So it was an answer to a question that I'd always, maybe that the fearful Gitu had asked herself, like, should we really keep pursuing this? It doesn't seem like we've got what it takes. And there was a Gitu who was like, no, but we do have what it takes. We're just waiting for the right project. And I think this was it for me. And I think different people have that at different stages. This for me was that. This for me was an opportunity to really reignite my love for performance. It was an opportunity to just see other really gifted, talented people showing up every day and then being like, well, then you show up with what you've got, So for me, it was beautiful in that way. I'll always cherish this experience. I mean, when you walk onto a set and you have Bro Washington, Komoto, Bo Budumisho, veterans that have been doing this for so long, and you're their peer, that's just like, whoa, okay. So I'm not that chick anymore. I'm Keitumetse Kasonkola,
Family over everything. Family over money, family over friends, family over a good time, family over things that do not add value into my life. As you can see with Lebo's character in the story, without his family, who is he? And us without him, who are we? So that codependence, the need to say that, you know what, we need each other, and it's not only one-sided, is very humbling. And I would love to see that extend even into my personal life. Not that it isn't there, but that is what I'm taking home with me. It's a reminder as well that family comes first. Family is everything.